everybody? Welcome back to Mob Pop Sports. This is Grandy. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for checking out the video, checking out this channel. You guys are returning. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a good week so far. Super busy week. I'm prepping for the card show here in the Denver area. If you guys are in the area, it's a 3-day card show, guys. I'll be there. I got 2 tables. I have tons of inventory, lots of slabs, lots of just, I guess you can say, I wouldn't say vintage, but a lot of Hall of Famer autos, things like that. I will be there. So make sure you guys stop by the table, say hi. Hopefully I get a chance to see everybody this weekend. So just kind of prepping that. And also on top of that, I'm still listing on my eBay store and everything too. So don't forget, links in the description for both eBay stores. They have a little bit of helps. I won't be away. So actually at the end of the show on a daily basis, I'll be shipping orders for my eBay store. So it'll be a pretty busy weekend for myself on that end. But other than that, I will do a Q&A. I was hoping to do one this week, but prepping for the show, I probably won't have time to record, so I'll try to do a Q&A next week. There was tons of questions through my Instagram, through comments, things like that, or DMs and stuff, so I'll try to get to that next week for sure. But today, let's jump on. This is I guess is one of the main questions I've been getting a lot of people asking me. It's kind of a 2-part question, so I'll try and answer it today. And this is just something that people have been wanting to hear from my thoughts and my point of view, so I'll get into it. A lot of people are wondering, I have a lot of low-end sports cards. How do I sell them? I have a lot of bulk stuff, a lot of junk wax stuff, and people are just asking, what's the best way to sell them and to move them? First thing I'll tell anybody right now is don't. Don't sell them. And the reason being is it's a lot of work for very little payoff. If you're looking to sell a lot of junk wax stuff, I'd highly recommend don't, because it's just the demand for them is just not there. And where you're going to sell them is very difficult. You can do, okay, so this is my thoughts. If you're still going to do it, whether you listen to me or not, here's some tips and advice. Number 1, if you're going to do it at a card show, do 10 cents a card or 5 cents a card or whatever the case may be. Like I just said, the payoff is not worth for you to carry all these boxes of these junk wax stuff. But if you're going to sell it, that would be your best round. Another way is you're going to sell them in bulk, and that's what I actually do, because I still have a ton of junk wax stuff, is go through Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, things like that, garage sales. If you're going to do a garage sale, I would just sell them in bulk. You might have to sell like 10,000 cards for maybe $50 to $100. That would be your best round to move them. If you're going to list them on eBay, I mean, you have to list them to get your money's worth, because you got to cover shipping, you got to cover the fees and all that stuff. Junk wax stuff is just not worth it, guys, at the end of the day. But if you're going to do it, like I just said, sell them in bulk. That would be your best bet, is sell maybe 100 cards or 1,000 cards for $1. I mean, it is what it is. It's the reason why you call it junk wax, guys. So that's why I would recommend not doing that. But if you are, that would be my honest best way to try and move those types of cards in that sense. So there you guys go. I know a lot of people have been asking me about super low end. How do I move them? I don't. That's why I moved away from them, guys. At the end of the day, it's just not worth your time and effort for 10 cents of profit or 5 cents of profit or even 1 cent of profit. Now, if you get into the huge cards, a massive amount of inventory, if you want to move it that way, you possibly can. It may make you money at the end of the day, but like I just said, it's just not worth the hassle on that. So don't, but if you do, those will probably be your best bet. Another thing it kind of entails is, if I were to start a store or a business of selling sports cards, what is the type of stuff that I need? How do I get started, right? I've been getting that quite a bit, actually. That question a lot is like, how do I get started? What equipment do I need? All that stuff. So first things first, if you're going to sell sports cards, even as a side hobby, that's what I would recommend. And then if you're looking to do it full time or, expand, obviously spend more time doing it, right? I would start it very small. And the very first suggestion and advice I'd give you is just start. Start listing, whether on eBay, CompC, or anywhere, any platforms, Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups. If you want to start selling, just start posting, start listing that you got stuff for sale. Versus asking me how to do it, I would just recommend just start doing the shit. Stop wasting your time asking. Start listing. Start telling people that you got stuff for sale. That would be your first step of how to start selling sports cards. You got to just do it instead of asking questions, okay? So list on eBay. I would recommend, you don't really need anything. All you need is a phone, just so you can take a picture. Or even if you don't even have a phone, if you have a camera, an old camera, whatever, take pictures of your specific items and then start listing it through your laptop or whatever. But obviously a cell phone, smartphone would probably be your best bet, is because you can literally download the eBay app or whatever, take a quick picture and start listing it. I actually still continuously use my phone on specific items, on cards that are too thick for me to scan and list. I'll take pictures with my phone. The phones nowadays, the camera is way better than you can purchase now. So I would start doing that. If you can have a cell phone, take pictures, start listing on eBay right away. That would be my suggestion. Is the main component that you'll probably need equipment wise is a cell phone, a smartphone, and the reason being, like I just said, you can get the app, take pictures, literally list off your phone and start your store and start, selling cards. Okay. So that would be the main equipment that you would need instantly. That's what I would recommend. Now, if you want to take it to the next step, what kind of equipment do you need in 2025 to really start your eBay store and expand it, right? Number one, you're going to need an eBay store. I would say start at the very bottom, the basic store, or you don't even need it, because right now you don't even need an eBay store to start listing. You get 250 items listed for free. Start doing that. Just start listing, create an account. All you need is technically an email address, and all you need is just like your banking information so we can link whatever payments they want to do. So that would be number one. Then I would increase your stores. So go from the base store, the basic stores, all the way up to premium stores. So I would start until you hit your max amount of listings and max amount of auctions. And then once you hit that, then upgrade. That's what I would recommend you doing in regards to the eBay format, eBay stores, if you can start doing that. If you're looking to sell on Whatnot, I believe anybody can just apply and just start selling on Whatnot now. So you go ahead and start selling on Whatnot. How much inventory do you need? It's going to depend on how much inventory you want to sell. People have been asking me, like, how much inventory do I need to start a business, start selling cards? Honestly, I don't know. It depends on what your goal is. If you're looking to make $1 million, well, you better have at least $10 million worth of inventory. It's bare minimum, okay? So if you're looking to make $100,000, well, you better have probably pretty close to $1 million worth of inventory, because you're not going to just sell everything instantly. So that's the thing, is that you got to have enough inventory to cover to reach your specific goal. So that's the main thing, is that you have to have a specific goal mindset, so then you know where to start and where to begin. So once you get your eBay store and everything situated, or if you're just starting to list, equipment wise, a lot of people are always asking me, do I really need a scanner to start listing cards on eBay? No, like I just said, you just need a cell phone, camera, whatever. However, the scanner is beneficial once you start increasing the amount of listings you want per day. If you want to be able to list hundreds and hundreds of cards per day, or thousands and thousands of cards on a weekly basis, like I am, I highly recommend a scanner. And what kind of scanner? Currently, I use the Fujitsu FI 8170, but there's tons of Epson scanners out there you can get. There's tons of, I think the FICO is the new one now that's taking over the Fujitsu now. So there's tons of scanners. Find whatever scanner works for you and what application you're going to use with this, because people forget, just because you scan, you still need a software application that will take that scanning image. Then they'll have to look through their, inventory, information to match it up. And then they'll list onto eBay or whatever platform, ComC, or whatever platform you're going to be listing on, Shopify, things like that. So once you get a scanner, don't forget, you need to get the software application, whether it's Card Dealer Pro, Chrono Cards, whatever the case is. I would recommend, like I said, test drive all those, software application, what works best for you. I've used both. I've used Chrono Cards, Card Dealer Pro. Currently, I use Card Dealer Pro. I'm not sponsored by anyone, so I don't care. Am I happy with it? It's okay. It gets the job done currently, so it is what it is on that. I've done previous videos on that, guys. If you want to go take a look at my thoughts of Chrono Cards, Card Dealer Pro, go take a look at that. But currently I use Car Dealer Pro, and it works. Like I just said, it gets the job done. How much inventory do I currently have? I probably go through on a daily basis. I have to filter through at least thousands and thousands of cars to see what I'm going to list on my eBay store. And then I filter them, what I'm going to sell them, at my card shows. And then when I was doing Whatnot, I'm taking a break from that for a while, but I would separate all the inventory. So people always ask me, separate your inventory. Combining them, it makes it a headache. So just a FYI on that. So there you guys go. Keep in mind, when you get a scanner, the better the scanner, obviously the more expensive it is. I would really be careful of what you budget and save enough money to budget yourself in regards to the scanner. Don't go cheap. I highly recommend do not go cheap in regards to your scanner. I did originally, and then you get all these stupid images, scan lines, and then you get damaged cards. So you got to be really careful in regards to what kind of scanner you use if you decide to go that route. So there you go. Another thing I would recommend if you're looking to really increase your business is a thermal printer, a thermal label printer. That was a game changer for me, whether you're selling on Whatnot, whether you're selling on eBay, because once you start getting into the realm of 20 to 50 to 100 orders on a daily or whatever basis, when you start shipping stuff, that thermal printer, number one, is going to save you on ink. You never have to buy ink again. This thermal printer, guys. So there's no ink. All you need to do is just buy the label sticker, the rolls for the labeling, and then it's just a time-saving issue. Highly recommend a thermal label printer, guys, especially if you're really looking to increase your sports card selling, things like that, or actually in any eBay business, any type of reselling business. Once you start getting, like I just said, over 30 to 40, 50 orders a day, printing them, cutting them out, no, don't do that. Thermal printer, they are expensive. Dymo is a good one. That's what I currently use. I use the Dymo thermal printer, and I really recommend it, guys. It's time saver, and it's just the tedious work when it comes to the shipping. That will cut that in half. So I highly recommend getting that thermal printer. In regards to bubble mailers, envelopes, things like that, you're going to have to start purchasing them. Depending on how much you sell on a daily basis is going to depend on how much supplies you're going to need. I highly recommend getting bubble mailers, especially if you sell slabs, mid to high-end cars that you're going to be shipping with Ground Advantage or Priority Mail, whatever the case, you're going to need a bubble mailers for that. I would recommend getting enough to cover how much you sell on a daily basis. So you can buy those bubble mailers. So this is the thing about getting to eBay stores. They give you discounts on a quarterly basis, so you can buy bubble mailers from eBay, and that's actually what I do, because I think I get like anywhere between $50 to $100 credit per quarter for having my eBay stores. So I just use that to get all my shipping items, so all my supplies, everything from boxes to bubble mailers to envelopes for the cards, things like that. So that's something to definitely look into. And then just plain white envelope to ship the lower end cards if that's what you're looking to do for the ESC eBay shipping envelope stuff. So there you guys go. It all depends on how much you're selling on a daily basis, on how much supplies you'll need. I recommend that. I would recommend getting painter's tape. I use painter's tape still. Don't use Scotch tape. Please, for the love of God, people, stop using Scotch tape. It's the worst thing that you can put on top loaders. It's the worst thing you can do, taping on the cards, anything like that. Stop using Scotch tape, please, please, please. It's horrible, guys. But painter's tape is probably your best thing. It doesn't really damage the top loaders. It works just as good. It's easy to take off. So I would definitely get a dispenser for painter's tape. Really helps in regards to the shipping format. And then what I'd also recommend, if you're looking to increase, is how you organize your business, how you organize everything in regards to listing your inventory, guys. So figure out a way. If you have a SKU system, or if you have whatever system you have, everybody does it differently. So this is the thing, because people are asking me, how do I organize all these 50, 100,000 cards? You have to figure out a SKU system. So why is when you get orders, you can easily go and pick those cards from your, how you're setting up your inventory. So figure that part out. People always ask me, well, how you do it? I do it simple. I have everything situated in alphabetical. Like this is the section A or section B, section C. That's how I list my things. And then I also numerical it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it might be like a, card number 100A. Then I know I can go to the section A. I'll pick up card number 100. Or if it's a section G and it's card number 3000, so I'll go to section G and then I'll pick out card number 3000. So when you're picking it to ship, it simplifies your life, and then it keeps you somewhat organized, guys. So that's how I do it. People do it differently in regards to their SKU system, so I'd recommend you guys figuring it out for yourself, but do it before you get too big. Luckily, I was at about 10 to 12,000 listings when I realized like this wasn't going to work. I was kind of just alphabetizing things by sport. And once you get to a certain level, you get so big that it's like, holy crap, it'll take you forever to start picking those items. So how you set your inventory and how you SKU system, do it at the beginning so you don't have to go back and redo it. That was my biggest mistake. I had to go back and redo it. Luckily, I did it at about the 10 to 12,000 listing mark, and I didn't have to redo everything too dramatically. So, because it was a pain in the ass, guys. It took me a good week and a half when I had to go and redo that stuff in regards to my inventory system. So I recommend doing it right now, especially if you ask that question of how do you start your business. So make sure you get that SKU system so you're organized, and it's a lot simpler for you to go pick and start shipping stuff in regards to that. Make sure you have enough supplies of top loaders, penny sleeves. I also recommend doing this. Slab sleeves is highly recommended, and the reason being is it helps protect your slabs from scratches, things like that. And when you're shipping it, it's a lot nicer when you have those things on those slabs. I do recommend that. It's pretty cheap. You can find them on eBay, buy them in bulk. I also purchased these things, guys, if you want. These are team bag sets. So if you do that, the team bag sets are good for the top loaders, and you can protect them. And also these just one-touch slabs things are right here, one touch. So I usually bag them up like this. So the cool thing about that is when you ship them, they're nice and bagged up. And then on top of that, when I'm at card shows, I do the same thing. I bag everything. That way at the card show, when people are looking at these cards, it keeps it clean. It keeps it protected. Even it protects the one touch, because those one touch are expensive. So you want to protect those to protect the cards so they don't fall out. So if they were in that, the team bag, the cards, it can happen. They can come out of top loaders or, the one touch, things like that. So the bag does protect it. So I would get that as a supply thing. I'd make sure you have plenty of that. Thick top loaders, I'd purchase a bunch of those, because you're going to sell a lot of, cards that are thick, that have patches, swatches, things like that, autographs, okay? So I'd recommend getting those thick top loaders, those thicker one touches, things like that. I highly recommend getting those supplies. I know you're going to have to purchase them or keep them. That's my thing, is recycle whatever nice top loaders you can. It's just one of those things that if you're getting into the industry, you're reselling things, you're gonna need those. Then obviously card sleeves, penny sleeves, buy them in bulk. You can never have enough of those. At the end of the day, you're gonna need tons of them. It is what it is. You're gonna see that. You're gonna need all those types of supplies. I'd recommend getting a weight machine so you can weigh your boxes. For mailing purposes wise, you can get to Amazon and you can purchase these things, because once you start selling or once you start selling sports cards, some people buy in bulk. So you might have a person who and I have this all the time, that buys 10, 20 cards per order, and you're going to ship that. You need to find out the weight. So you got to have a weight machine. I'd recommend having a weight machine so you know how much each packages weigh, so you know how much you have to buy on the shipping labels to ship it USPS or priority mail, or if you're going to ship it FedEx, things like that. And you do ship it those ways every so often. So just I'd recommend having a weight machine to weigh your packages. Another thing I'd recommend is getting a paper cutter. If you can get a nice big paper cutter, and the reason being is you want to cut specific, this is what I usually do. I cut like cardboard to help protect my slabs. So I cut a tremendous amount of those to protect the slabs on the front and the back of them, and that's what I do. People do differently how you protect your slabs. There's all these slab protectors, things like that, but that's what I normally do. So if you want to get, I would get one of those. Get plenty of another thing I would recommend if you want to get is a printer. You're going to need a printer, and the reason being is if you're shipping things, sometimes you have to print things. So I love to send in my cards to get graded. So you have to print out receipts, you have to print out labels, things like that to send to whether it's SGC, Beckett, PSA, those companies. You have to print out things. So you're going to need some type of printer to print out those receipts or labels to put inside of your ship to ship it to get graded. So you may need something like that if you're looking to grade cards. So I would recommend that. Another thing I'd recommend is getting a bunch of these boxes. Let me show you. You're gonna need a ton of these types of boxes, guys. So you're gonna need a ton of those boxes. You can probably get them on Amazon, eBay for decent amount of pricing as you buy them in bulk. Because you're gonna need to store your card inventory. Also, you need these boxes if you're looking to sell at the card shows like I am this weekend to have your dollar bin boxes, okay? So you're gonna have a ton of those boxes. And I just recommend buying extra and buying them in bulk because it's obviously cheaper in that way. So that's what I would recommend you guys doing in regards to that. Sharpies, you're gonna need tons of Sharpie pens. And the reason being is you'll notice that when you're at card shows or whatever, you just need pens and you need Sharpies. You need a ton of them. For whatever reason, you're gonna need that. And that's what I'd probably get. I think that would probably be about it in regards to what you're gonna need supplies, equipment wise. You don't really need a ton, guys. Just get started. That'd be my biggest thing is just go ahead and just start getting started listing on eBay, start listing on Facebook. That's the thing too, is join Facebook groups. Especially all those there's tons there's thousands of them, right? Find one that's local, start getting into those groups, start networking. That's my advice to you guys. Start talking to people because it'll help you sell cards. It'll also help you, get inventory, guys. The source, you're gonna need that stuff. So that's what I would recommend you guys doing in regards to that. If you have a laptop, obviously helps. If you're looking to do whatnot now, that's going to be a little bit different. You're definitely going to need a smartphone. You're definitely going to need, I would recommend at least, you don't necessarily need a laptop, but it helps tremendously if you're selling on whatnot. I was telling my brother-in-law that the other day. I recommend that if you're looking to start selling on whatnot. You're gonna need a stand, all that stuff to start selling on whatnot. Your camera goes live, so you're gonna need all that equipment. So that's what I would recommend. And then, like I just said, team bags, markers. You're gonna need all those Sharpies once you start selling on whatnot. You're gonna see you're gonna go through that quite a bit. So thermal the most important equipment I would highly say is the thermal printer. I think it makes your life easier. That's what I would recommend. And then everything else is just kind of gravy. But that's how I would get started in 2025. If I'm looking to start selling sports cards, start a store. I know this video is kind of long, sorry, but that would be kind of the equipment that you currently need and supplies for shipping. That's the thing, guys. Realize you're probably going to run into like, oh shoot, I need to buy this stuff for this. So as you get into it, as you start listing, start selling, you're going to realize, hey, I might need more of this stuff or needed this stuff, or you don't know it until you actually get into it. So that's why I say just start listing, start selling cards, then you'll figure it out for yourself. But those are the basic equipment to get started. If you're looking to start your first store selling sports card, that's what I would do. And then you'll start, when you're doing card shows, you're going to need different equipment. You need display cases. You're going to need, other things when you're doing card shows. You're going to need business cards if you want. You're going to need a four-wheel cart or a push cart. You're going to need all kinds of stuff. You're going to need tubs to carry your cards, things like that. So you're going to start figuring out once you start selling cards and once you start doing shows, once you start selling on eBay, you'll figure it out, guys. But other than that, hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit. Sorry, like I said, the video is a little bit long, but I haven't done one of these, and a lot of people have been really asking me what kind of equipment you need to get started on that. So hopefully this will help you guys get started. But like I just said, just start listing. At the end of the day, you can't sell shit if you don't have it for sale. So simple as that, guys. Other than that, appreciate you guys. You guys like this stuff, feel free to subscribe. If you have not subscribed, still appreciate you guys watching this video all the way through this point. Don't forget, I will be at the Denver Card Show at the end of this weekend, 3-day card show. Swing by, check it out. I have 2 tables, guys. Other than that, man, how about those Fever, Indiana Fever? Go Caitlin Clark, there you guys go. She's tearing it up right now. She's unstoppable, guys. So appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of the week. Till next time, peace.